They increased
The
it.
original right, the
No,
original
no,
right of
start-
way for 668, 66 feet.
I don't really want to start this until after I get the tape recorded.
Now, because you guys were talking, I want to make sure you
Yeah.
just had the right
I don't know if
stuff.
there are any comments or not.
Yeah, Jack.
Not,
Okay.
I mean, I think what you're saying, this right of way of Route 40, I can understand them expanding it, but
Well, basically
Oh,
what
yeah,
it
it's
all
gonna
boiled
take
down
everything
to was dealing with
yeah.
the planning commission up there, Gerald, and he's basically wanting to accommodate what I want to do, but it's a progression. I mean, the whole thing's a progression. It's you start at the beginning, you work to the end.
Yep.
And he's basically telling me the county, he would recommend to the county to reduce the 70-foot county road right away, if it comes to that. But he wanted me to start at the township level. He said it's gonna be much simpler and easier to reduce because of the way I've designed it. And this is design number about 12. I submitted 11 others to the county, basically saying I can't do this without getting some variance to either the right of way or the building setback, one or the other. And he's like, that's fine. He said, I'll recommend to the planning commission that, we vary the right of way. He said, but it's gonna be simpler, start with the township with the building setback. He said, if you can work with 70 feet, he said, why don't you see if you can get the building setback reduced to 0, and then we'll have the 70-foot county road right away. He said, if you can't get the building setback reduced to the township, then we'll go for a county variance and try to reduce the 70 to 50, then the 20 will come along with it. So this is just step 1.
Yeah.
So,
Now, you know you gotta repeat all that.
That's- After we get the tape.
But that's what it boils down to. So, and what it is, it's
Yeah, I think she
66
deserved
feet
that, bring that.
is the deeded right of way, but then the county has implemented
I was
major
talking to her before.
major artery regulations for future upgrades to the road. Center turn lane, 2 lanes north, 2 lanes south, that kind of a thing. And Jerry's like, he said it's overkill, he said it's unnecessary, it's a hindrance to the community. He said, I understand all that, and we'd like to work with you. So,
Yeah, we haven't started the meeting.
Oh, okay.
We're talking preliminary.
Sorry, guys. There. Now you're good.
Thank you. Okay, I declare the meeting brought to order. Say the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody has signed in the attendance sheet. Nope. If you haven't signed it, make sure you sign before you leave. The reason for the meeting is Matthew Powell has got an application for a variance to the Board of Appeals. And before we have him explain that, we have to read the minutes of the last meeting.
Okay, the meeting minutes for our last zoning appeal is as follows. The Bowling Green Township Board of Appeals met February 23rd, 2012 for an appeals hearing. The meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. Everyone was sworn in and the old business was read and approved by the board unanimously. New business. An appeal was filed to have a lot split at 14809 National Road, Southeast Brownsville, Ohio. Testimony was given by Mark H. Cottle concerning a big old trash truck leaving State Route 668, totally demolishing a home at 10119 Brownsville Road. The home and contents for a total loss. Mr. Cottle asked for a variance on his property so his son could build a single-family residence. The zoning inspector, Barbara L. Salih, also gave testimony. She gave the board Exhibit A, which was a letter describing why the appeal was denied. All testimony was given. Discussion was held by the board. A motion to vote was given by Jack Hedges. Mike Zinsmeister seconded the motion. A vote was taken by the board. Results are as follows. Paul Scanlon, no. Lee Rathburn, no. Mike Zinsmeister, yes. Jeff Baird, no. And Jack Hedges, no. The appeal was denied because it does not meet the minimum requirements of a 5-acre lot with 250 foot of road frontage in our agricultural district. A hardship was noted by the board. The zoning inspector gave advice about how to pursue a spot zoning with the Licking County Planning Commission. A motion was then made and seconded to adjourn the meeting, and the meeting was brought to a close at 8:01 p.m.
Takes a motion for acceptance.
Second motion. First motion, whatever.
Second.
Okay. Now you wanna, anything that you say, and everybody here is swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And just speak plainly so that the tape recorder can tape record everything. And you wanna explain your application?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. This basically began through the county planning commission and their major development review, and that was with Ryan Edwards and Gerald Newton for the most part. Through that review and submitting multiple different variations of a design to try to avoid a variance issue, both county and township wise, and taking information that was given by them and desires by Jerry for a layout that will be contiguous with the town as it is now, with building frontages matching and what have you. It was basically determined that I'm going to be unable to do a decent functioning convenience store with gas islands, even with utilizing two of the lots together to have enough space for parking, fuel transport and delivery, and two-way traffic through the lot. Jerry basically explained that they were wanting to rejuvenate the area and that would be more than willing to try to accommodate me from a county level, which would be varying the 70-foot road right-of-way requirement, which is from the center line of 668 and center line of Route 40 to the beginning of the township building setback line. So you've got 70 feet of road right-of-way, 20 feet of township building setback. So you're basically 90 feet from the center line of County Road 668 to the building setback line, center line of Route 40, 90 feet to the building setback line. That would be the township setback line. He said I could basically ask for a county variance to the 70-foot right-of-way line. He would recommend to the planning commission that they allow that variance. However, there is no guarantee of that. He can only make a recommendation that be varied to a 50-foot instead of 70-foot. The township 20-foot building setback line would follow that back. He wanted me to pursue getting the 20-foot township building setback line reduced to 0 first on the township level, simply because it involves local people and it's a simple procedure. If we reduce that to 0, then I can incorporate the design that I've submitted and everybody's looking at. The county road right-of-way would still maintain 70 feet. Failure to be able to do that will basically take me back to the county level to try to get 50, 20 foot would follow with it, I would end up back at the 70. That's basically where we're at. The layout as I've submitted it, it says a combination of input from the planning commission and Jerry Newton. I submitted some designs with station to the rear, pumps to the front, literally 8 or 10 different designs, and they were more in favor of keeping a structure line similar to what is currently down Route 40, as opposed to having a big lot in the front and the store in the back. So that's kind of where the design came from and how it ended up where it's at right now. So, the biggest problem is the fuel island can't be minimized anymore, and it can't be moved any further east. The store, to be of a functioning size, can be reduced. To reduce it in size is basically going to make a facility that I'm probably not going to want to pursue. So it leaves you with a minimal amount of space to be able to have head-in parking and a drive aisle between the fuel canopies and the store. Reducing that space either requires that you kick your parking on an angle, which creates kind of unidirectional traffic. You pretty much force all the traffic to either come in from the rear and park and go out to Route 40, or in from 40 and out to the alley, which in all the designs that I did that way, it was just too congested. It was gonna just not flow very well. So to get it opened up to the point where I have head-in parking, where people can basically come in from any direction, park and leave from any direction to eliminate that congestion, I have to get down to 70 feet from center line to 668 to make that happen.
Do you have anything, Zoning Inspector Bob?
No, I just thought it was crazy that Lincoln County tells me it's 53 feet when we were working with the Adams property on 668, and then he comes to me less than a year and it's now higher, 20 feet higher.
So they must have passed something.
Well, I actually brought it up to Jerry and Matt Hill, and I clarified it with them because I think they had some confusion about the fact that south of 40 is State Route 668, north of 40 is County Road 668, and they kept using the terminology back and forth, and I ended up clarifying with Matt. I said, now you're positive on the County Road 668 that it is 70 feet. He said, yes. He said, County Road 668, north of 40 is a major artery in the county. All major arteries are 70 feet. And I asked him, I said, well, why the discrepancy from 70 feet to 50 feet north on the same county road is at 53 feet? And I never did get a clear answer to that, other than I finally received an email from Gerald Newton that said you need to work off the basis of the 70 feet. I basically have preliminary approval from the county engineer's office to do grade modifications from the ditch line of County Road 668 up to what would be the modified building line. I've got preliminary approval from Brian Bosch with ODOT to do grade modifications from the right-of-way Route 40 up to the modified building line. So the things are in place to make it work. It's really just a matter of getting that extra 20 feet to make the traffic flow through the business uncongested, is basically what it boils down to.
Any cross-examination? Everybody understand?
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
You're giving yourself 70 feet then, back from the road now, from the center of the road.
Center of the.
That's both roads, 668
And Route.
and Route 40.
Yeah.
But how much property is there that you're gonna have to put your sewer in and everything else, and your septic system? Have you got enough room there?
But I've been talking with Terry, and the septic field will be on down, and that's part of the,
I understand you have 2 lots there, right?
on down,
Connected
yes.
there, where you can use that.
2 lots on the corner, 2 lots to the east of Third Street. Actually, 3 lots to the east of Third Street. So the lots east of Third Street would be the septic field. If you look at the first
Did
page,
you have that drawn into?
it's on the very first page.
East side of the church.
It's listed primary
Across the
field,
road.
reserve
Yeah.
field. As I talked to Terry Jones, actually 2 years ago, about basically their stand on how to make a septic field work in this town. And obviously a single lot's unbuildable. The double lot is unbuildable if you need to incorporate a well and septic on those 2 lots. So I asked him, I said, well, if I own multiple lots, can I dedicate a certain number of the lots to the septic field and a certain number of the lots to the construction? He said that would be fine as long as they're all deeded together as one parcel. They could never be sold or transferred individually. They always would have to go as a common piece, and that they had basically authorized connection between them, which would have to basically be a township issue to more or less get a utility right away down the edge of Bowling Green Street to connect those, which would be what the directional board would be an inch and a quarter line for a forced sewer main. Without that, they're not connected. If they're not connected, it doesn't work. They have to be connected, and there has to be that basically that understanding with the township that I have permission to run that line. That permission will remain in effect as long as those parcels are in effect, and as long as that's being used for what it's being used for. As long as that is understood, then the health department basically considers all 5 of those parcels as one parcel, as long as they're deeded together.
Any other questions?
You make these up yourself?
It looks like the edge of the building is basically hugging, you're proposing to start the building line at that 20 foot.
It's 1 foot.
So you're basically gonna be 71 foot from,
71
okay.
foot to building line, yeah.
Okay.
And that's basically just to allow for your foundations.
Mhm.
So basically, the edge of the foundation is gonna be more or less right at 70 feet.
All testimonies in? What'll be your pleasure? You want to discuss this?
There's nothing more to discuss?
Yeah, do you want to take a vote?
Sure.
I'll vote first. I'll vote to do away with the setback to 0. So I'll vote to pass it.
You have to pass. I need to.
I vote to pass it also.
The other people get the 20-foot, too? Your neighbors?
What's that?
Does the neighbors get the 20-foot?
On the other side?
Yeah, I guess whatever, whoever else there on 40.
That's
Well,
70
by
70
case in there.
setback.
Yeah.
It'll take everything out to include this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
building.
thing, every house on Route 40 frontage is sitting on that 70
That's why
feet.
they don't, they don't say 70, because they're not gonna expand the same footprint.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much every house here, if they burn down,
Mhm.
can't be rebuilt. Not because of the 90,
Mhm.
but even because of the 70. They're basically all in that expansion right away. So
Mhm.
the 90 feet pretty much takes up half the parcels.
And that septic issue, they can't rebuild because of that.
Right.
Well, it looks like it's passed. Everybody said yes.
Well, thank you.
I'll send you a letter.
It's step 1 of 50.
I'm sure.
I appreciate your time.
Do you want any of these back, or I gotta keep one of them?
You can keep them all or whatever.
Okay.
I can't hardly read.
Well, they're unfortunately, they're
That's
small.
why I asked you the questions about it, because
It's pretty fine print. I declare the meeting over.
Sure.
I think you've done the right thing, Joe, on this one.